is Kyle Morris from the Morris Band. Today we're going to talk about simplifying those CAGED chords. Let's get started. Alright, so first we'll go over the CAGED again real quick. CAGED coming from the 5 shapes, C, these open shapes, C, A, G, E, and D. With those 5 shapes you spell CAGED. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to combine some of these to make them into one chord shape. We're going to simplify so it's more accessible on the git fiddle. Alright, so the first one, our main one, we got this E form. Now if I'm going to move that, pretend that this is a fret, I'm going to have to bar it. So there's my root E. Move it up a half step, there's F. Whole step G, keep the same shape. Whole step A. So we're going to be working in the key of A. There we go. So that's one of our shapes. Then what we're going to do is combine this C shape. See this here? I'm going to have to bar it. Think of that as a fret. If I want to move it, my root is here and here. So if I'm going to move it, if this is C, a whole step would be D. Another whole step would be E. So what we're going to do is then, if you take the D shape, and if I'm going to move that, I have my root here on the 4th string. And I'm going to put my finger there, pretend that's a fret. So when I move it, if that's D, a whole step would be E. So that's also E. So we have an E here and an E here. Both very taxing on the fingers and the hands and the wrist. So we need to make this more practical. So if you look, they both share that shape there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that shape as our nucleus of these two. Then what we're going to do, which is very nice, is to take this pinky off and you're left with... So there's your E chord. Now we don't have the root in the bass, but that doesn't matter. So we have our A shape, and our E shape, our E chord, and our A chord. Then we're going to take this A shape, here's our root A, and also there. Bar these 3 fingers across. This is A, you move it up a whole step, that gets you B. Half step gets you C. Whole step gets you D. So there's our 3rd chord we're going to work with. We're going to work with A, E, and D. Now there's that one last shape we haven't showed, that's the G form. Very ridiculous shape, but we got to learn it. So we've learned this one. Our root is here, here, and on the 3rd string open. So to move that, I got to bar these 3 open strings. So if this is G, I'm going to move it up a whole step to A, whole step up to B, half step to C, and then a whole step up to D. So we had D here, using this A form. I know it gets a little tricky here. And then we have D here using the G form. There's D. Now if you look, these two share this here. So what we're going to do is the same thing as we did with this shape, where we combine the two, the top and the bottom. We have the nucleus, and then we're going to add that other note there. That's called the 3rd. So if you look, where's my D? There's my D. There's that note there. Now instead of having the 2nd finger, you put your 3rd finger. So really the way I look at it is you have this shape, the A, that for the D, that for the E. And then what I like to do, because I'm not very fond of bar chords, is actually get rid of this bar chord And the 4 high notes, this right here, as some of you might have played an F chord. Playing that, and then I wrap my thumb around the 6th string to get the bass, and I mute the 5th string. So I get this shape. So now I got A. So if you look at that, to get from A to D, all I gotta do is just roll that 3rd finger down. I got my D chord. So as you can see, we have the A chord. Rolling the finger over gets you the D chord. Then all you got to do from here to get to the E chord is just take that 3rd finger there, move that down a half step, go like that. You can bar the 1st string if you want to, or you can just grab these 3. I kind of grab it like that. So I bar that, and then move it back up. There's your D, roll it over. So as you see, with just those 3 shapes we took from the CAGED, we simplified. Most songs you're going to see have that chord, that's the A. There's the D, and a lot of times you can just go up a whole step, there's E. That's one way to play it. Like I said, I don't really like bar chords too much. You gotta really kind of put your hand like this all the time. So if you look at this, my wrist is straight. I can just grab it, one little flick, just a little tweak. And there you go. So imagine if you had to sing and play. If you were doing this, it's not too bad. This way, there's very minimal movement. Especially if you only knew this shape and you wanted to do A, D, E. So there's a lot of room for error there, going from another thing is you're getting all these notes in there, so it gets a little muddy sometimes. Here you leave room for the other instruments. So if you look at it, these chords I just showed you, when we went over the major scale, that's my root A, and I did this pattern. Just like the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, back to Do again. So there's 7 notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the 1. So this chord progression is known as 1, 4, 5. If you look at my root 1, that's the number 1, A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is D. There's my D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is E. There's my E chord. There's the full CAGED. We just get rid of that pinky. So that's 1, 4, 5. Common blues. And if you look at that, it's a simple pattern. You just see kind of a backward 7. See that? If you went like that. So no matter where you go, that's going to be. So if I was in the key of G, there's my 1, 4, 5. Start on the root, and all you got to do is just go to the next string, same fret, and then a whole step up is your 5. So 1, 4, 5. Work on this progression because you're going to see it everywhere.